right, man. The Fed's cutting interest rates. My local coin store is kind of slim pickings on the silver. I mean, just how bad is this going to get? All right, as you guys know, if you watched my last video, I kind of missed the ball or missed the silver grab this past weekend. Spot price was extremely low. It was definitely a buyer's market. And I missed it because I had planned to do some other things. And by the time I readjusted my plans that fell through, I had missed the grab, and it was just slim pickings. And so today is Tuesday, March 3rd at about right around 5 o'clock, and went to Main Street Coin, and this is what he had left. And what you see here is all he had. So he hauled out all the scraps, and I picked them all up. Hopefully things are going to get better. He said he's about 5 days behind in his orders getting shipped out. So I guess everybody, all the bullion dealers are ordering silver, so they're a little overwhelmed. At least in Cincinnati, they're kind of a little overwhelmed, so they're behind. So the silver is coming. Let's just pray that it's still in this kind of range when they get the shipments in. Now, that's kind of a double-edged sword. I know a lot of people, and I know you're going to say it's selfish on my part to want silver spot price to stay relatively low because I'm buying for the long term. I know the people that buy and flip, they're wanting silver spot price to go up. So that's the game, and that's the balance. But if spot price is still low by the time he gets his silver in and I can go down there and buy it, then I'm not going to complain. If it goes up, I'm not going to complain either because I got plenty of silver that I hope is worth a lot more than what I paid for it. Anyway, so the Fed cut interest rates. I talked to Clay down here a little bit about that, but for some reason, the audio on my phone kept getting a lot of interference. That has never happened before. Just kept getting a lot of interference, and it's really it's too much for me to play here. So I'll just kind of talk about what we talked about a little bit. I'd love for you guys to have heard from his mouth what he said. He made a lot of good points. But personally, it's about how silver is affecting you personally. I mean, you get your news source from wherever you get it from. If you trust what you hear in the news from the stations that you listen to, then go for it. That's the way I am. I trust where I get my news from, and this is not a political channel, so I'm not going to get into any kind of politics. But the point I'm making is you got to trust. You got to look at this from a personal point of view. How is this global unease affecting you? Now, with the Fed cutting the interest rates, I didn't really feel comforted by that because I didn't really understand why they did it the way they did it. I mean, why cut interest rates, in the morning with all this stuff going on? I mean, you would think that if they were doing it to kind of ease the nervousness in the markets, they would have made a big deal out of cutting interest rates. But they just kind of snuck it, kind of snuck the interest rate cut in there, when everybody's at work and not really paying attention to what's going on. So that also it makes me think, okay, if they did that to kind of ease tension, then why did they do it? What's coming? What do they know that me personally don't know? Now, I'm sure there's a lot of very learned people in the market that know about these things, know about the economy and all that kind of stuff, who will feel what they feel from the cut that they made. But speaking strictly from a personal layman's point of view, this rate cut didn't really fill me with any kind of it didn't really reassure me. I put it that way. And I'm just going to leave it right there. So I'm going to continue to buy silver. I'm going to continue to stack it as I'm going at this full throttle. I'm going to buy as much silver as I possibly can get while spot price is low, because I just got a feeling that something really, really big is getting ready to happen. Something really unprecedented is getting ready to happen. Now, couple months from now, I might be just one of those voices that's always predicting something extraordinary to happen that never does. But I'm just being honest with you personally. I feel like something is coming. Something big is on the horizon. And when I see the Fed doing what it's doing, when I see the global markets following suit and cutting their interest rates as well, it makes me feel like, they know something that we don't know. So, I would encourage you to really think about that, look into it, do your own research. And if you feel comfortable with what happened today with the Fed cutting interest rates, then, that's you. But if you're kind of like me and kind of think that maybe there's a little more going on than what we know about, then I'd say you might want to start making some adjustments. Get to Costco and buy as much paper products as you can possibly afford. Stock up on that water. I mean, it may not be a huge disruption, but any kind of disruption is something that you want to be prepared for. So, just think about those things. And that's just, if you're going to come and you're going to visit my channel, I'm going to try to give you information from my point of view. So that's really all it is from my point of view. I'm no expert in anything, but this is what I'm going to do. And, so I just say, just look at this from your point of view and make the decisions based on what you think is going on. All right. So I'll just tell you this. I did order some bullion online. I went to findbullionprices.com, and I found a couple of sites there that were of interest to me. And if you're from Ohio, I'm sure you know what I mean by of interest to me. And I found a couple sites that are of interest to me. So you might want to go check that out. I'll leave a link to the site in the description. But I found a couple sites that were interesting to me, and so I ordered some bullion. And when that comes in, I'll share it with you guys. And I don't really want to say any names because I don't know all the rules and all the stuff that go into the subject that we're talking about right now. And I'm using code on purpose. I'm probably fooling no one. But if you're from Ohio, you might want to go check that site out and see if you can find a couple of sites that are interesting to you as well, and order you some bullion. So I did that because the pickings were pretty slim in Cincinnati, but they're not going to remain slim. It's not that there's a shortage of silver. It's just that this run on silver, because of the spot price and because of what's going on around the world, people just rushed in and kind of overwhelmed the local coin stores. But there's plenty of silver out there, and they're going to be ordering some. And Clay said, they're a little bit behind in their orders, but they're on the way. So we can rest assured that there'll be bullion for us if we want it. Still going to Indiana. Please believe that I am definitely going to Indiana, and not just Indiana. I don't want to make it out like I'm only going to Indiana, but I'm going to definitely try to see if it's feasible to drive to a place and buy silver without paying the tax, and see if it's feasible. See if it's something that I can do kind of on a regular basis. Maybe save a lot of what I would be spending for at the local coin stores here. Just take a portion of that and save it for like maybe 2-3 weeks, and then just go and make a big purchase in another state. And we'll see. We'll have Indiana be the experimental state that we start with. Didn't get off to that good of a start. If you watched my last video, you know that it was this mad grab for silver because spot price was low, kind of brought out what I would say the worst in some people, and I'll just leave it right there. So, but I hear from people have reassured me that it's not like that everywhere in Indiana. So I'll be looking for another place to buy some silver, and once I find it, I'll be going there, and we're gonna buy as much silver as we can possibly afford, and see if it's worth doing on a regular basis. And if it is, then that'll be what I'll be doing. Like I said, I found a couple sites that a viewer pointed me to, and so we'll be using them as well. But prices were a little higher than what I'm used to paying. But anyway, we won't dwell on that. All right, so just all I would say is just look, just be prepared. If you come to my channel, you know I'm going to show you silver. I'm also going to try to impart a little bit of knowledge or drop something on you. And I would say just be prepared. We don't know what's coming. Something is definitely coming. I mean, it's in the air. You can feel it. Something is definitely coming. I don't know if it's the coronavirus that's got this atmosphere of unease, or if it's just some other things going on, or maybe it's just an accumulation of all of it. But all I'll say is this, that I'm getting prepared. Who knows what kind of disruption may come, but it's better to be prepared than not be prepared. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. So, be thinking about that. Don't, I would say my advice to you is don't take this lightly. Don't take this as just another one of those things that come along. This one feels different. I'm sure you feel it too. This one feels different. It feels a little more personal, feels a little bit more like it's going to affect me personally. A lot of times these things come through and it's always like it's happening in some place else. It's happening to someone else. But this one feels personal. This one feels like it's going to affect me personally and my family. So I'm preparing. So anyway, that's all I really want to say. Short video today. I appreciate you guys stopping by. This silver journey is going to continue, and you guys are welcome to come along with me as we navigate this. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll get notified as soon as I drop another video. And let's just keep this silver train rolling. Keep stacking. Peace.